Gaffer, thanks very much for joining us ahead of the Wrexham class. It's slightly unusual to have a game on a Thursday night, and how has that affected your preparation?
Not much, because you never know what day of the week it is anyway in football. It's they all just mould into one. So it's another game, 4 days in between our last game and this one coming up. So yeah, we're preparing as we would do normally.
It was obviously quite the physical battle at the weekend. A few challenges going in there. How are the lads holding up after that?
Yeah, they're okay. They're fine. I mean, it's physical games, demanding time physically. So we've had some injury niggles. Some coming back, some still taking their time to get back. So that's how it is right now. But from the game, everyone's okay.
The press on Saturday again was really effective. It made it very difficult for Exeter to get anything going. Could that again be the key on Thursday?
I think it's always a big part of our game. I mean, Wrexham are very different to Exeter, how they play. Exeter play a lot of short passes out the back, a lot of build-up play from there with their goalkeeper. Wrexham less so, more direct balls and crosses. And so it'd be different, but our pressing's a key part of our game, so we're going to need it to be good.
On paper, these next couple of weeks look quite difficult with the away trips to Wrexham and Huddersfield and then back home against Rotherham as well. Do you see this as a really good test?
Yeah, we had the same sequence, very similar sequence earlier in the season, and we came out of it well. But I mean, on paper, they're big games as such because of where the teams are in the league or the size of the clubs, but it doesn't mean much really, because we've had other games that you would say we should win or whatever, and we didn't. So I don't read too much into that. It's just the next game. We have to focus on this one. There'll be a lot of talk about Wrexham. They're having a good season, so are we. So we're really looking forward to the game.
You mentioned the last game against them and coming out of that really well, obviously winning the game. How have you assessed the way they play and the progress they've made since then?
Yeah, they're very similar to back then. I mean, I feel like we've been on a bit of a journey because we're just forming our squad back then. The transfer window was just shut and we were a whole new team coming together really. And I felt, Wrexham, you could see that they've been building something for a few seasons with successive promotions, and they've found a style and a way that suits them. They look very similar to me from what they were before. So nothing will change in that aspect, but I like to think that we've developed and grown as a team since that first game.
They're second and only to Blues in terms of fewest goals conceded as well. But do you feel like your side has gotten better at breaking down teams and breaking down those stingy, low block kind of defences? Yeah,
I think so. We've got better in sort of our method or our idea of what we need to do. And therefore, we could still execute it a little bit better, but we've got a clear plan, I think, of what we're trying to do to break these blocks down. Normally, the back fives, we play against a lot of back fives. It's never easy though. A lot of bodies, congestion, you're trying to find space, and sometimes the ambition in the game for the opposition is quite low, so they don't really open spaces for you. So you have to be patient and pound the rock and keep going, and once eventually it will break open for you. So we've had a lot of examples of that, and I see no change for the rest of the season in that regard.
You've spoken about not listening to the outside noise when it comes to big games like this as well. Is that the message you've delivered to the players, to just go out there and play their game?
Yeah, I mean, they'll know that that's my mindset for it, and I'll reiterate that to them. But I think in the first game I had to be really clear with them about that, because I'm new to the club and a lot of them were new. But they know me by now and what I'll be expecting, and I've got a feeling that they're not going to get too sucked in by the external noise this time around. Last time it felt like there was quite a lot early season. But they know it's a game of football. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. It's a game of football that we have to prepare for as professionals, and that's what we'll do.
Do you still see it as a positive thing to have more eyes on the team and more eyes on the games as well, to show people what you're capable of?
Exactly that, yeah. As much as I'm saying it's just another game, it's always positive that, there's interest in us, there's interest in the game, the fixture. It can only be a good thing. It's just that we don't need to let that distract us. But yeah, for the league, for the clubs to have that level of interest that's probably going to go internationally is great. And from our point of view, we want to deliver the right type of performance and get the right type of result.
Just in terms of injury news, of course, to be missing Pakin Iwata is undoubtedly a huge blow, but how confident can you be in players as good as Mark Leonard and, of course, Taylor Gardner-Hickman to step into those midfield roles?
Yeah, very confident. Paik and Iwata have been brilliant for us this season, but then Mark and Taylor really haven't put a foot wrong when they've played either. So I thought they were both very good on the weekend in their roles defensively and attacking wise. I thought they were strong. So very good midfield players in their own right, and they'll be looking to take their opportunity in any occasions that someone's injured.
Elsewhere, are there any updates on the fitness of Keshi Anderson or Willem Willemsen?
So Willem is still a little way away. He's not available. But Keshi's much closer, will be available in some capacity. Obviously hasn't done too much training or anything the last few weeks, but it's good to have him back training with the group and getting closer to full fitness.
And just finally, what kind of atmosphere are you expecting tomorrow at the racecourse?
Tomorrow at the racecourse, probably nothing because there's no game. But on Thursday at the racecourse, I'm expecting it to be pretty loud, pretty intense. I mean, we get this sort of atmosphere a lot of the away games where the home fans are really up for it. So it's going to be like that. I mean, we've got the biggest stadium, the loudest stadium in the league. So for our players, it's going to be nothing new. But for sure, there's going to be a big atmosphere in that stadium.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.